morning. It is
There you go.
It is hunt time. We've got myself, Mr. Plenty, and Elijah's with us this time. We're getting ready to go out to our stands. I'm gonna have my Creedmoor with me.
I'm bringing a bow. It's opening day of gun season. I'm still bringing a bow for some reason.
Sounds like a good idea.
No, it's the one stand that's up on top of the hill. We just decided not a good idea to send a rifle round off that hill, so it's our bow spot. So I'm gonna go up there.
It's a good spot, but we definitely don't want to shoot back towards the other places that we're hunting. So let's see what we can go knock down. Hopefully next time we're on video, we got a deer.
All right, y'all, good morning. Just dropped off Daniel and Eli, getting up to my spot on the top of the hill here. As I was coming up, I saw a deer cross the road right in front of me, headed towards that stand. So it means they're already moving. So parked way downwind. Hopefully I'm not gonna bust it up getting in the stand. So I'm just gonna quickly and quietly head that way. Well, I parked, I gave it a couple minutes just in case there's a deer hanging out over there. But now that I've waited a few minutes, I gotta go. So just try to be quiet, get in the stand, and hopefully they'll be coming right in. Well, my morning out was fraught with issues. So driving in, saw a deer crossing the road right in front of me. I don't know if I spooked that deer or not, but I don't think it even mattered because I got in. It took me a while to find the blind. I was looking around, I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I had built these platforms that we had pop-up blinds sitting on top of. It had blown off. So I had to find the blind, get it set up back on top of the platform. I tried to do it as quietly as I could, but I'm sure I made some noise. So that was a big issue. And then the feeder went off at 7, which sunrise wasn't until 8. So it went off really early. And I just heard it spin, but not a lot of corn coming out. It sounded pretty empty. So not a great morning for me. Not off to a good start. But I heard Daniel shoot right before sunrise. So 10 minutes into legal light, perfectly legal. Heard him shoot, heard a couple other shots across the hill down here. So people are getting it done on opening morning. So I'm gonna go down, meet Daniel and Eli. I think he shot a doe, so we're gonna go check it out.
All right, so Eli and I have been sitting in the stand, and it's just past first light. You can see out, it's still pretty dark. And what did we just do, bud?
We just shot a deer.
We just shot a doe. She came in, and we were waiting, and Eli did a really good job of being quiet. All right, folks, so we just got down from the deer stand right over there. We're about to go look for the deer. Good sign. We see some blood, which is good. So I think it was a pretty solid hit. You know, I shot her right in the crease, so I think it's probably a good lung, maybe heart shot. So we started over here. And Eli, are you ready to go look for a deer?
Yeah, I am.
All right, let's go. So here's some blood. Oh, there's some more blood over there. Okay, come on, pal, let's see if we... Oh, there's some good blood. That's a lot of blood there. That's good. That's a good sign. There's some more. So we're following this blood trail. Oh, there's some good blood. Okay, good.
That was real good.
Okay, hey, can you find more blood? Let's see. What's that over there? Okay, there's a good blood trail. Let's see. Oh, there's some blood. Oh, she's bleeding good.
What over here, Dad?
There's some. Oh, buddy.
I see her.
All right, come on, let's go.
There she is.
There she is. Wow.
Whoa, this is cool, Dad.
Buddy, first deer we've shot together. That's awesome.
Yes.
There she is. She's a good sized doe. She's healthy. That's a big deer. What do you think, bud? They might be a little cold. What do you think, though? You want to pet it?
That stuff is soft.
Well, there we go. First deer down of the season. Pretty excited. Very excited to be able to share it with Elijah. Just so pumped that we were able to come out here right at first light, plug a deer like we were hoping to. She's a good sized doe. You know, now what's next, bud? What are we gonna do after this?
We're gonna drag it and skin it.
Elijah, did you have fun this morning sitting in the deer blind?
Oh yeah.
Were you cold?
A little bit.
You did really well, especially because Elijah and I both have colds, and so Elijah was coughing a little bit, and he said, "All right, Elijah, there's deer," and Elijah did not move. He didn't cough. He did everything perfectly. All right, so we're back. So Eli wants to record us dragging the deer, so we're about to drag the deer out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take it to a place just probably about 100 yards from here, if that, where we can back the truck up, put it in. When we get back to camp, we're gonna go ahead and skin it out and cut it up. Mr. Plenty is still up over those hills, probably about 500 or 600 yards in a bow blind that we have up there, and he's still got probably about an hour and a half or so, maybe.
Yes.
He's got probably about an hour and a half before he's gonna come down, because we shot this deer literally at first legal shooting light. It was probably 5 minutes in, and they were all standing there, and we took the shot. So we're gonna bring this deer over, get it ready to put in the back of the truck to get ready to skin it and butcher it up. And then Mr. Plenty will meet us over here with the truck. We'll put it in, we'll bring it back to camp, do that, and then I don't know, maybe we take a little nap.
No.
No nap for Elijah. See you guys soon. We're gonna back the truck up to this little quarry, and then we're gonna put her in, and then what are we gonna do?
We're gonna skin her.
That's right. And we're waiting for Plenty to finish up his hunt. He's up on the hill, way out that way, probably about 800 yards or so, and he's in a bow stand. So it's only about 8:30 in the morning. We got out here. First legal light was 7:37. We shot this deer at probably 7:40, and we waited a little bit, then went and found her, and you guys saw that. So now we're just kind of hanging out. You know, it's not too cold out. It's actually kind of nice. Don't you think it's nice weather?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just kind of hanging out, looking at this cool scenery in West Texas. You can just see it's rocky, it's a little hilly. There's a lot of prickly things everywhere. So we're just kind of hanging out, waiting for Mr. Plenty. When Mr. Plenty gets here, we're gonna put this deer in the back of the truck. Eli's happy. We're gonna put the deer in the back of the truck. We're gonna skin it. I think you wanna keep that skin?
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep the skin since this was kind of a special moment. It's the first deer that Eli's ever been a part of, and he did such a great job. So we're gonna keep this, and maybe we'll put it in his bedroom, hang it on the wall or something, which would be kind of fun. So we're gonna wait here for a little bit and then get some more work going. All right, here comes Mr. Plenty in the truck. We're about to put the deer in the back of the truck. And then we're gonna go back, and what are we gonna do once we put it in the back of the truck?
Skin it.
Come over here, bud.
We're gonna skin it.
All right.
You on?
Yeah.
All right, let's drag her over to the truck.
Yeah.
Here, you grab this leg, grab that leg, and let's go. Pull it with me.
Wow.
Oh, she's getting you. All right, let's lift her in. All right, let's start.
Nice. Great shot, man.
Thanks, man. We're pretty fired up. All right, buddy. You ready to go skin a deer? All right, let's go. My wife got me this knife. It's a Billy the Kid knife. I think it's maybe $20.
Oh, a Billy the Kid knife.
Can I see?
One of those.
Yeah, one of those. So we're gonna try to skin this deer with this Billy the Kid knife, and Eli's gonna help skin his first deer. There she is. I'm gonna pull her out. Stick her right in the cooler over there.
I burned out like a wandering ember.
All right.
I shone bright, then my journey was over.
Learning how to do it.
Okay,
What I
we're almost done.
when I ran
Plenty's getting the last tenderloin out.
Pulling the tenderloin out without getting the guts.
And it's a little bit more challenging to do this when it's sitting on the back of a tailgate versus hanging up. Hey, get your finger out of there, you little nut. But we got all the quarters off. We got the back straps off. This is the last tenderloin. We got the neck roast out intact, which is exciting because my wife's going to be very happy about that. Last time we did that, we slow cooked it and then kind of pulled it apart and made pulled neck roast. Had plenty over, and we had some kind of pulled sandwiches with it, and it was unbelievably good. So we're almost done, and after this we're gonna go do a little bit of work on the property and go get ready for tonight.
Well, as you may be able to hear, the wind is still really ripping out there, but it's at least coming from a good direction. So feeder's dead in front of me. The wind's kind of quartering too, so not quite 90 degrees, quartering to me a little bit. So if something comes from that way, not good. But everywhere else, great wind. So that's fortunate, at least in this setup. It's also one of those days where it's hot outside, but it looks like it could get really cold very quickly. Bright blue sky, not a cloud, very windy. It's probably over 70 degrees now, but it was like 40 this morning. So I'm probably gonna shed this layer pretty quick.
All right, Eli and I are back up in the deer stand. You can see it out there. Getting ready for an evening sit. Eli's got his Pop-Tarts. We're gonna see if we can see a big buck that comes in tonight, or a javelina, or a raccoon that keeps trashing our feeders. If we see any of those, what are we gonna do, bud?
Shoot it.
We're gonna shoot it. You heard it there.
I get it.
Deer Komodo dragon tongue. Nice.
Hi.
Did you see a lot of deer today?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, got down out of the stand, saw a raven, and that's about it. Not a lot of movement. But you guys saw a bunch of deer.
So where we were this morning, we shot the doe. She was with two little fawns and another doe. They came back in probably around 4:30, and they're a little spooky. They didn't actually go into the feeder. They kind of skirted around. They came back another time. And then after that, we saw a little lone fawn come in. And then probably 20 minutes before last light, we saw 7 deer come in. There were 3 fawns.
Nice.
4 fawns, 3 does. And I think there was actually 2 groups of 4. And now there's a group of 4 and a group of 3.
Yeah.
After this morning. But Eli spotted them all coming in from the back. He's like, "Ooh, there's another one. There's another one." We saw a bunch of them. Didn't we see a bunch of them?
And there's also some that ran away from me when I was like coughing.
True. It was fun.
Well, first step's admitting it, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're cooking dinner right now, just doing some sausage and some veggies, keeping it simple. We're gonna hang out tonight and then probably switch up the spots in the morning.
See if Plenty can plug a doe, and I'm really hoping that Eli and I see a javelina to plug, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Alrighty, headed back out this morning. Daniel and Eli just walked out to the stand closest to camp, so that one's actually walkable. So they're headed out there, trying to see if a buck comes in or a javelina. And I'm going to where they were last night. So it looks like lots of does are headed there. So I'm grabbing the old rifle, old 270 here. I wanted to shoot something with the bow, but that one stand, it's rifle season. That one stand we have at top, we didn't want to shoot rifles off that top of that mesa, so that's why that was the bow stand. So that's why I was using a bow, because I was at that stand. So if I'm going somewhere else, might as well bust out the rifle, because it's probably a 90, 100 yard shot, something like that. Still close range, but way too far for the bow. I'm gonna head out there now.
I was all situated for a morning hunt as the light started to creep over the top of the hill. Right about first legal light, a lone doe wandered in from the brush and very cautiously eyed the feeder. This is where Daniel had shot one the morning before, so this doe was very suspicious and didn't really come in. She played peekaboo behind a cedar tree for a little while before deciding, well, this probably isn't the best idea, and she wandered off into the brush. I spotted another doe at about 220 yards up on the hill. I actually just saw the rump of this deer. On the light ground, it's kind of hard to make out the shape of a whitetail, especially when they've got their head deep in a cedar tree. I kept glassing the hill because I figured if there was one deer up here, there were probably more. Sure enough, there were more. There's 3 deer in this scene right now. Can you see them? While I was able to identify deer, I was having some trouble making out exactly what they were. Were these fawns? Were they small does? They were so far apart it was hard to compare to each other. I was pretty sure 2 were fawns and 1 was a doe that still wasn't a very big doe. But I didn't want to risk shooting one of the fawns, so I kept lining up my scope, trying to get a better look, but ultimately I never took a shot. It was a long distance to try something I wasn't sure of. As the sun continued to rise, the glare above the hill got so bad that eventually I just couldn't make out anything on the slope. Even if you have the best sunshade, it doesn't help when you're looking right at the sun. With nothing coming into the feeder and no shot at those deer on the hill, my only choice left was to walk that way to try to get a closer look.
Well, I went ahead and got down from the blind. I was looking up at that slope earlier, and that's where I think I saw a deer bed down. And then I saw a deer, I couldn't tell what it was, run across that side hill. So I think stuff's just bedded down, settling down for the day, but I just can't see it. So I'm gonna go ahead, the wind's going that way, so I'm gonna get up on that slope and see if I can see anything from there. Well, I went ahead and climbed to the top of the hill just to see if I could see if anything was bedded down up here, or maybe look down on them, but I think they just kept moving. Don't see them.
Alright, good morning everyone. We're up here in what we call Sniper's Tower. It's me and my best buddy. And light just came out, you can see. Off in the distance we got a couple of views. It's kind of cool. And then out this way we got the feeder, about 100 yards out. We're just kind of hanging out, trying to stay warm. See if a buck comes in, or a javelina or something like that. Hopefully we're able to see something today. Alright, so we just took a shot at another doe. Eli said, what'd you say?
She was over there.
And then what?
She flopped over. She ran a short distance, flopped over, and fell.
Alright, so we're gonna give her a couple minutes. I think it was a pretty good shot. And then we're gonna go take a look. Alright, we're gonna go look for her now. There's the feeder over there. might have shot her in the gut based on the blood that I'm seeing. So we're gonna follow this blood trail and see where we find her. Alright, so we're still following the blood trail. I got some more blood right here. There's some there. What do you think, bud? Do you think we're gonna find her? Okay, let's keep looking.
Nothing just hit me in the face. Why do any red stuff on my face?
Buddy, look. What's that right there? Do you see her?
Yeah, I see her.
Alright, let's go find her.
Dad, is there any blood on my face?
No, look,
Okay.
look.
I see her.
There she is. Oh yeah, she's a nice big doe. What do you think, bud? Buddy, what do you think? Another deer down.
2 deers.
Look at that exit. Holy smokes. Wow, that's definitely a long shot. That was a perfect shot. My earlier video where I thought maybe it was a little guts, I think it was probably just the stuff on the ground. That's about as good of a shot as you can get. Nice long shot. You know what? Now that I'm saying this out loud, I don't know why I'm whispering since she's already dead and we found her. But that's a second doe that we've shot. Eli, what do you think about your first hunting trip, bud?
I like it.
Pretty fun?
Yeah.
We shot 2 deer. All right, let's we're gonna drag her out and start butchering her up.
Yep. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so this morning, Eli and I decided to go to Sniper's Tower, which we call it that because it's an old blind that's really high up. It's a nice little box blind, probably, I don't know, 15, 20 feet up in the air. And last time we were out here, Plinny and I kind of cleaned out a good shooting lane. It's about 100 yards from the feeder. We haven't had a lot of deer coming in, and we realized yesterday it's because the raccoons, this is crazy, I actually have it on camera, they opened the feeder gearbox and ripped the battery out while they were trying to knock all the corn out. So there hadn't been a lot of corn. We went and fixed that yesterday. And the place that I was at yesterday, there was a lot of deer there. So I'm like, hey, Plinny, why don't you go over there? This place is a lot closer to where we're staying. I'm like, hey, Eli and I will just walk over. So this morning we walk over, and I had the mindset of, if there's a javelina, I'm going to shoot it, because I really want to shoot a javelina. If there's a buck, I'm going to shoot it. And we had seen before a little fawn and a doe coming in. I'm like, well, this was a meat hunt, so if I see that fawn and doe again, I'm going to shoot that doe. So sure enough, we get to the stand. Eli's wiped out. He's he was a trooper this weekend. He starts taking a little nap. Then the sun starts to come up, and it was probably right at at sunrise that I saw a fawn come out. She came out from the right-hand side, came out to the feeder. I'm like, all right, well, that's the fawn. Let's see if the mommy comes out. The doe ends up coming out about 5 minutes later, and she was probably, I don't know, 90 yards, because she was a little forward from the feeder, coming in, eating some corn, and she had just crossed the brush. And I'm like, man, she's standing perfectly broadside. It's the kind of shot that you always want to take on a deer, not quartering away or two at all. So I said, Eli, put your headphones on. We're about to shoot a deer. So I get my rifle ready. I line up on her, take the shot. And so where I'm sitting, my field of view is literally the feeder. Eli's field of view, there's another window. He can see further to the left, and she was coming out from the left. So when I shot, I was like, oh boy, it felt like a good shot. I was lined up, I did everything right, but I saw dust kick up in the background, and I was aiming low on her because I wanted to do a heart shot and have her die quick. And Eli's like, no, Dad, you hit her. She was flopping. I'm like, okay. I'm like, Eli, are you sure she was flopping? Because the deer yesterday we shot was flopping. He's like, yeah, I saw her. She was flopping. I'm like, okay, good. So we wait about 10 minutes, get down from the blind, walk over, and as soon as we walk out, that fawn comes out. But it kind of caught me off guard, so I'm like, I don't know if that was the doe, because I thought I missed her. So I pull up my rifle real quick. I'm looking at her. I'm like, no, that's definitely the fawn. You can tell because her face is a little bit more smushed in. It's not that long nose yet. And the fawn just stared at us. And then she kind of ran off. So I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good because of the fawns coming back out without the doe. Probably means that the doe is dead. So we walk up to the feeder, and I look down and I see blood. But it was like blood with like some weird grassy stuff in it. I'm like, oh man, I hope I didn't gut shot her. And again, I felt like it was a pretty good shot. I saw the dust in the background, which concerned me, but I definitely didn't think it was a gut shot. So I was a little worried, and we found the blood trail very easily. We start walking, and sure enough, she's piled up about 30 yards away, and it was a perfect double lung shot. I mean, it was probably one of the best shots I've had on a deer. Through and through, the entry hole and the exit wound were in about the same spot on the deer, which means it was just a perfect double lung, popped her. Eli was super excited, so we ended up dragging her out to the road. Plenty was still hunting, so I texted Plenty, I'm like, hey, stay as long as you want. It was about 45, 50 degrees out, so I'm like, she can last for a while. And so Eli and I came back to the camper, we were kind of hanging out, and then I decided, I was like, hey, Plenty, why don't you just stay out, go see what you can see. I went and got some paracord and actually my shooting sticks, and I ended up rigging it up, getting her right here and dragging her back probably about 600 yards. And then I butchered her up and got her in the cooler. So another good deer, and we got 2 in the cooler starting the season, which is great.